What's up, YouTube? Today, Jujutsu Shenanigans just updated. This might come out on a later date because I am kind of lazy with how I edit my videos, but it is the 1st of April. And for this April Fool's update, we do have a lot to cover. We have Bloom clashes, domain clashes, and just a lot of stuff. And we also have a new character, Ryu. Although the names are kind of butchered right now for April Fools. Um, his name is Jane Juliet, the cool guy from JJK. And let's just get into the video. I'm going to be showing you what this update comes with. Alright, so for the next part of this video, we're actually going to start off with Ryu Ishigori, inspired from Jujutsu Kaisen. He is a cool character. With the names butchered, he is named Jane Juliet in this game. I don't know why they did that. As you can see, he's like Red Judas, Blue Judas. But it's pretty cool. Let's just go ahead and check out his character, and later on we'll get into the beam clashes and domain clashes. Alright, so to go ahead and start with the showcase, we do have Ryu Ishigori, as I said before. There's something special about this character. Like whenever you use these beams, his moveset and his M1s, they do raise up this bar in which you will have to get down by pressing it's special. And without further ado, just actually get into it. So this is his M1 combo. Pretty good, pretty good. It is 3 M1s, mind you, just in case you wanna, remember that. And for his first move, he actually has Granite Blast, which is a holdable like beam. It does pretty good damage. I'm not gonna lie, it's gonna be really good for combos and stuff like that. And check out his second move, which is Unsatisfied. It's like a little barrage, and I'll show you now. As you see, it knocks back, and you could probably like pair that up with the Granite Blast since it does have a lot of range and has some pretty good knockback. And let's go ahead and get into his third move, which is Second Helping. The thing with this move is that it actually has a variant, an air variant that you can use whenever your opponent's in the air, which you can check out right now after I upcut him. It allows you to like change the direction of where they actually go, and if you want to like combo with that, it's very good. I'm not gonna lie, it's very good. That's actually a pretty good move. And let's go ahead into the last move, which is Appetizer. Much like the other moves, it is a beam. However, it is 3 beams and has a pretty hefty usage of your bar. And yeah, that's just his base. And let's go ahead and get into his awakening. Alright, now let's go ahead and check out his awakening. And in order to get his actual moves from the awakening, you're going to have to get your little bar on the right to 80%. Alright, let's go ahead and pop awakening. As you can see, the awakening usage does have this little beam that uses up all of your curse energy, in which you're going to be overheated, and that's going to be your awakening. Alright, let's go ahead and check this awakening out. Okay, so his first move, what are you after? Let's go ahead and check that out. Oh, I didn't know it was a 2-part move. I'm going to go ahead and redo it. Alright, let's go ahead and retry this out. So I'm assuming you have to aim your like camera towards the enemy on the second like part of the move. Let's just go ahead and check that out.
Where are you?
As you can see, it is a 2-hit move. This is a pretty hefty amount of damage, I'm not gonna lie. That's pretty good for a awakening move. And let's just go ahead and check out the rest of the moves. Considering that he already has a one-shot by awakening, this character is really crazy in his awakening. And also, I forgot to mention that this character has like infinite HP. Like, you can't kill him. Well, not really, since like it takes down his mode whenever he gets hit by like strong attacks, but technically he does have infinite HP, and he can only die to like certain things. Alright, so for his second move is called I Had No Idea. Let's go ahead and use this move. Just a little barrage, nothing crazy. It probably does combo, and I'm not too sure whether it does or not. But let's go ahead into the third move, which is This Is What Dessert Is Like.
Get over here!
As you can see, that is the cutscene part of the move, and it does a lot of damage, I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, this is his awakening. His passive doesn't really change, but yeah, it's a pretty cool character, really good damage and things like that. Insane awakening. I don't know why he's like immortal and also has a one-shot beam, but let's just go ahead and get into the other parts of the video. Alright, so now we're going to be checking out the beam clashes, which I'm hella excited for. I'm not gonna lie, I'm low-key like happy for this, but let's go ahead and check out the beam clashes and see what it's looking like. Alright, so now it's time to actually get into the beam clash. I'm gonna have my trusty companion use his Rika beam, and I'm gonna use the awakening beam, and we're gonna see who wins this clash. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, go. That looks insane. Alright, that's actually pretty cool. I'm not too sure how you like definitively win a beam clash, but as you can see, even though that I won the beam clash, it does not do the full amount of damage, and he was able to like, you know, save some of his HP, but that's really insane. I'm gonna try to get another visual, which I will show on the screen after this one. Alright, so we're actually gonna be testing out the domain clash now on 3, 2. Oh, I don't even have my awakening. My bad. Alright, so now that I have my awakening, let's go ahead and test this out. Alright, so on 3, 1, 2, 3. So whenever you get in the domain, I actually figured out that you have to run the opponent and then it's get more bar. Now I'm actually lagging. Alright, so this is what happens whenever you win the domain clash. You get your domain and you're able to pop any move you want. This is actually really cool.
Where are you going?
So yeah, that's the domain clash. I'm actually really surprised with the results they did. Their big ones. This update is low-key crazy. I might come back to playing full time. I don't know. But yeah, let's just go ahead and get into the other parts of the video. Right now we're actually gonna be checking out this new awakening move that Mei got, and from what I hear, it's kind of like anticlimactic. But let's just go ahead and check it out. Okay, so I guess he turned into a bird, and from what I hear, I think you have to look at the opponent, and then that's when the awakening move actually happens. So let's just go ahead and do that. Okay, so wait, let's try that one more time. I just gotta make sure that I'm not seeing it wrong. The bird gets that like little glare. You just click and boom, pop. They're dead. Without further ado, I think there's only one last part of this video that I had to cover, and then boom, we're gonna be over with this new JJS update. It comes with greatness, right? Come on. Alright, so since there's not really much else for me to cover on this update, quite frankly, we're just going to be doing a 1v1 between Rita and Ryu on the colony map. And hopefully you enjoyed this part. This will be the last part of the video. And in 3, we will be starting. 1, 2, and 3. Let's go.
I got this!
Where? Where are you going?
Now that will be the end of the video. I hope you did enjoy. This update was really good. I actually really liked it. I'm not gonna lie. If I had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it an 8.5 just because, you know, although we did get Clash, I feel like we should have been had that. But this new character is really awesome, really fun, even though he's really spammy. But yeah, that is the end of the video. I hope you had a good time. Make sure you subscribe, like, comment, all that extra stuff, and see you.